Daily Ticker Time here on a Monday, brought to you as always by our great friends at Pelican Brewing Company. Today is Cinco de Mayo. Why don't you celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Pelican Brewing's Mexican Lager, Pelicano, bright, crisp, and brewed for good times. It's the ultimate fiesta refreshment. Go grab some Pelicano on your way home. Joining us now is Dan Wetzel, ESPN senior writer, New York Times bestselling author, at Dan Wetzel on Twitter. You can go give him a follow. Dan, good morning to you, man. Thanks for the time out here in Portland. We wanted to talk to you about your Belichick article, and then this morning you just go about breaking a little bit college football news. We got a coach getting suspended. So tell the listeners, what is he getting suspended for, and how does Game 3 and Game 4 of the season make sense?
Yeah, Sherrone Moore, the Michigan head coach, is expected to get suspended by the school. So a self-imposed penalty amidst the Connor Stalions advanced scouting scandal, or whatever we want to call it, case. So the NCAA accused Moore of a level 2 violation of not cooperating because he initially deleted a string of texts between him and Stalions off his phone. Now, those are retrievable, so they're sort of deleted, but they found them. There's really no incriminating information in them, but they would charge them with the failure to cooperate kind of thing. I don't want to say specifically. So he said, it was just angry at Connor Stalions and deleted it. So anyway, they're going to the NCAA hasn't ruled, but Michigan can, self-impose things to try to curry favor with the NCAA or hope that this will do it. The games 3 and 4 opposed to game 1 and 2, right? If you're suspended 2 games, you think it'd be the first 2 games. Schools do this. They try to pick and choose. The big thing for Moore is the second game is Michigan at Oklahoma. He is an Oklahoma graduate, played offensive line for the Sooners. My guess, I do not know, but my guess is he had great interest in coaching in Norman, and so they're going with games 3 and 4 against Central Michigan and at Nebraska, opposed to that. So will it work? The NCAA could still come in and hit him with a longer suspension, other penalties. There's going to be some recruiting penalties, which probably don't matter too much anymore. But that's where we're at with Michigan. So games 3 and 4, no Sherrone Moore is what's expected.
If I was asked Dan Wetzel, now that he's probably going to get suspended, we'll figure out the games. You mentioned some recruiting stuff. This story largely coming to a wrap after the initial Connor Stalions doing some shady stuff for Michigan. How would Dan Wetzel categorize the Michigan championship season, given all the information we've collected since they won it and all this stuff came out?
Newsworthy. That's what I would call it from my perspective. Look, they were clearly breaking the NCAA rule on scouting, or the spirit of the rule, if you will, by what they were doing, filming sidelines and stuff like that. I was never a huge believer that it was that big of an advantage, because almost every team's got 95% of each other's signs. Everyone steals the signs and all that. You can call up the coaches that played the week before and say, what signs did you steal while you were sitting there watching the game? And they can tell you, and that is allowable by the culture, but this isn't. So I kind of always related a little more to Deflategate. It sounded like a big deal, and everyone went crazy and said Tom Brady's a cheat and all that. Then he won 4 more Super Bowls. So I still think Michigan won the national title, whatever. But that doesn't mean they're innocent.
Yeah.
It just to me, the advantage is not nearly as significant as maybe people want to do it. Plus, it got uncovered halfway through the season. So Ohio State, Penn State, Alabama, all those schools all knew and were able to adjust.
Yeah, it didn't impact those games. Dan Wetzel is our guest, ESPN senior writer, New York Times best-selling author, at Dan Wetzel on Twitter. You came out with a piece late last week that we found interesting. We've certainly talked about it a lot, and that is this Bill Belichick girlfriend story is just wild. It's kind of come out of left field where at first it was a little awkward and uncomfortable in terms of the age, and now a lot of the details are coming out following the fallout from that CBS interview a few weeks back. You took a different spin on it, though, in the history of Belichick. So I'm just curious how you kind of view that story and the way that it has evolved, and how this is going to play into, from the sports side of things, how it impacts North Carolina going forward.
Yeah, I was really right in the sports side of it. Look, it's obviously anytime you have a 49-year age difference in a relationship, it's going to be intriguing, interesting, newsworthy, all of that. All fair game. It's, no one really saw that coming out of Belichick to have this sort of situation. And so, now we're, she's 24. She's active on social media. This is a guy who used to call it like face mask and hit all these jokes about how dumb social media is. Now he's like posing for Instagram Halloween photo. It's something, man. It's something.
Yeah.
My thing is that if you think, people are like, this is elder abuse. He can't coach the team. North Carolina should fire him. Let's slow on that. This guy, we just talked about Deflategate, right? They won a Super Bowl after Deflategate. Then when they suspended Tom Brady, they won another one. Spygate, they went 16-0. Aaron Hernandez is standing trial for murder. They win a Super Bowl. He loves fights, feuds, controversy. Like, people are like, this is a distraction. Like, this guy's entire life is a distraction. I don't know whether Bill Belichick's going to win at North Carolina or not. I just don't think this is going to matter because he's got this girlfriend, and he posed for, she interjected into a CBS Sunday morning interview. Let's just football wise, this is probably the greatest coach in the history of football, or one of them, and he is always operated in mayhem. He seems to enjoy it and seek it. So I'm not too worried about that with him.
Well, she is a distraction for many. He's already seeking new PR, according to a report. So obviously, I think the CBS thing did make
use new PR. Yeah. No question.
Yeah. Final one for you, because we know you got to go, and we appreciate the time here. We may not know how many wins they get. What's your best bet, though? Like, we talk about the greatness of Belichick. The NFL said thanks, but no thanks. No more. College giving him the chance here. What is realistic in your estimation for North Carolina this year in the ACC?
It probably not. I don't know what his roster is. There's so many transfers and all of that. But I would say, can he win an ACC title there over the next 3 years? I would say that would be maybe the cap and make a playoff. I mean, he is an exceptional teacher of football. He's as good as anyone's ever been. It's the in-game moments, and those are things that college coaches lack often, right? How do you handle, the guy take a knee, guys have not failed to take a knee and lose a game. Maybe a coach that people know in Oregon. That stuff's not going to happen. And he's used to the transitional nature of a roster, right? So you look at a guy like Malcolm Butler, made one of the most famous plays in the Super Bowl. He's a guy they just pick up off the street that year, and they're training him to read the right thing and make the move. Can he do that? I'm fascinated by Belichick in North Carolina. Yeah. Do I think they can win a national title? No, college football is really hard, and it's really hard when you don't have built-in advantages, and North Carolina does not have all those. But I think they can be very successful, and it's going to be interesting to see. I just don't think Jordan Hudson is going to be a big factor in this. But again, I could be proven wrong. But I think the Belichick story is interesting enough. And now, I thought he was the most interesting person in college football. Now she is.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Well, hey, you slip in a Mario Cristobal dig in an interview in Oregon, you're going to get a round of applause here. That's well done. Dan Wetzel, ESPN senior writer, New York Times best-selling author. Go give him a follow on Twitter at Dan Wetzel. Appreciate the time in Portland, man. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
There you go. Dan Wetzel of ESPN. ESPN.
Yeah, my only little slight pushback on that, because I'm not going to refute the football genius that dude is.
It's an interesting theory. He's had a lot of controversies throughout his career.
100%.
Not to this level in terms of his personal relationship, but yeah.
Well, and I think people took the headline of his story and were like, look what ESPN's writing. And I'm like, well, it's actually kind of well thought out. It's just the headlines making people think it's a gossip article. My only pushback is this. Yes, he's had success and controversy, and he kind of thrives in that villain role. The NFL, much like Shador, said thanks but no thanks. And I don't think the NFL says thanks but no thanks unless there's something about you that they're not quite convinced on. And the difference between those years and overcoming those moments versus now, every report and every bit of intel we get, there's something different about this. She is clearly wedged herself. And by the way, there was reporting that his son's wife
is not happy about this.
Commented and was like, how disrespectful is this behavior?
She forced her way into the Dunkin' Donuts Super Bowl commercial.
So, like, even the Belichick family tree in coaching doesn't seem like lock and step with this. So that's my only pushback is, he's thrived in controversy in the past. This is the most unlike Belichick. Yeah. All of those were like shady, behind the scenes, mastermind, evil genius. This is, I don't know what's going on. And she's a mermaid on his Instagram. And that's different than all the others.
I mean, the counter argument I would make too is, you know what else helps you overcome controversy in your career?
Sex.
And Tom Brady.
Oh, that too.
When you're a coach, having
sex with Tom Brady would definitely do
that
it,
would get you over a lot of problems.
100%.
I mean, the guy's got he's got a great jawline. Today's Day of the Ticker presented by Pelican Brewing Company.
What?
Celebrate. Do you know today's Cinco de Mayo?
Yes, it is.
Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Drinko.
Cinco de Drinko.
When you're on your way home from work, whether it's like us at 9:30 this morning or later on today, why don't you just stop by your local store, grab yourself some of their Mexican lager Pelicano,
or drive to the coast and get it,
or drive. Hell, go to. It's going to be sunny all week. Like great week to be at the coast. It's bright. It's crisp. It's brewed for good times. Today is for a good time, and it's the ultimate fiesta refreshment.